Hello students, welcome to another video lesson of Notebook. Today we will learn about the various landforms and their evolution. Let's get started. Students, the various geomorphic processes lead to the formation of different landforms. We'll discuss the effects of running water and groundwater in this video. Now, what do we mean by a landform? Small to medium tracts or parcels of the Earth's surface are called landforms, whereas large tracts make up the landscape. There are broadly two types of landforms: A. Erosional, B. Depositional. Moreover, there are three stages in the evolution of a landform: youth, maturity, and old age. Our first geomorphic agent is running water. It is majorly in humid regions that rainfall brings about the degradation of the land surface. There are two types of flows: A. Overland flow as sheet, B. Linear flow as streams and rivers in valleys. In the later type of flow, there is vertical erosion followed by lateral erosion, therefore forming hills and valleys being reduced to plains. Similarly, sheet erosion leads to formation of rills, then gullies, and finally valleys. Students, so let's trace the process of evolution. A. Early stage or youth. There is downcutting in this stage, which removes cascades and waterfalls. There is shallow V-shaped valley with few to almost no floodplain. Moreover, there are marshes, swamps, and lakes, along with meanders. B. Middle or mature stage. There is lateral erosion of the sides of the valley in this stage. Streams are integrated in a deeper and sharper V-shaped valley. There are no waterfalls, swamps, rapids, or marshes. Final or old stage. Here, valley becomes lower with flattened drainage basin. Remnants called monadnocks are left. Smaller tributaries and vast floodplain are created. The landscape is or at the sea level. Now, there are four types of erosional landforms formed by the running water. These are: A. Valleys. They are of various types like V-shaped, gorges, canyons, etc. Gorges are formed in hard rock with equal width at the top and bottom, whereas canyons are wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. They are formed out of horizontal bedded sedimentary rocks. B. Potholes and plunge pools. Circular depression formed in the rocky bed of hill streams. Starts off as small and shallow with pebbles and boulders being rotated in flowing water, leading to deepening of the valley. Plunge pools are formed at the foot of waterfalls. C. Incised or entrenched meanders. Active lateral erosion on the gentle slopes leads to development of sinuous or meandering courses where the river's base level has fallen. Thus, in hard rocks, deep and wide meanders are formed. D. River terraces. These are surfaces that make old valley floor or floodplain levels. Firstly, the lack of alluvial cover for bedrock surfaces, and secondly, stream deposits leads to the formation of these terraces. It is the vertical erosion by the stream into its own depositional floodplain. Former riverbed is indicated by different terraces at different heights. Pad terraces river terraces with same elevation on either side of the river. Students, after erosion there comes the deposition mechanism. With running water, there are 4 types of depositional landforms. These are A. Alluvial fans. They are found in humid, arid or semi-arid areas with low cones and gentle slope to high cone and steep slope respectively. These are triangular in shape, deposited at the foot of the slope when streams flow from high to low gradient, forming distributaries. B. Deltas. They develop at different locations. They are sorted with clear stratification. The coarse materials settle first, followed by silt and clay, which are finer. The distributaries increase in length and are built into the sea when the delta grows. C. Floodplains, natural levees, and point bars. Erosion forms valleys, whereas deposition creates floodplains. During flood, finer materials get deposited on either side of the river. The active floodplain is formed in the riverbed, whereas above the bank, it is the inactive floodplain. They are of 2 types. 1. Flood deposits, and 2. Channel deposit. Floodplain in a delta is called delta plain. Natural levees. They are found along the banks of large rivers where coarse deposits cut into individual mounds. Point bars. They are also known as meander bars, which are uniform in profile with mixed sizes of sediments deposited at the concave side of the meander in a linear fashion. D. Meanders. These are loop-like channel patterns that develop over flood and delta plain. The Coriolis force, gentle slope of water propensities, lateral working, and alluvial deposits on the banks exert pressure laterally, not making meanders into a platform. Due to slight irregularities in the low slope of the stream, the curvature of the bank changes, leading to the deposition on the insides of the curve and erosion on the outsides along the bank. Oxbow Lake, the cut-off portion of meanders at the inflection point. Students, our second geomorphic agent is groundwater. It percolates vertically. Rocks rich in calcium carbonate, like limestone and dolomites, are best suited for groundwater landforms. There are 2 processes involved: A. Solution, and B. Precipitation deposition, also known as the karst topography. Find out where it is found in the world. There are 2 major types of erosional landforms: A. Pools, sinkholes, lapies, and limestone pavements. Shallow holes are those small circular depressions formed on the surface of the limestone by solution. Sinkholes are circular at top and funnel-shaped at bottom. They might start as solution sinks and eventually form collapse sinks if the bottom makes the roof of a void or cave. When covered in soil mantle, they appear as water pools. Collapse sinks are also called dewlines, and when it is joined with sinkholes, they are called valley sinks. Ridges and lapies, formed by differential solution activity along parallel to subparallel joints. Lapy fields turn into smooth limestone pavement. B. Caves, downward horizontal water movement along bedding planes of dense, thick limestone or altering rocks like shales, sandstones, and quartzites, with limestone or dolomite in between, leads to the formation of caves. The cave steam is discharged through the openings of the cave. When the cave is open on both the sides, they are called tunnels. Find out which is the largest cave in the world. Lastly, the depositional landforms of the groundwater are stalactites, stalagmites, and pillars. The chief chemical in limestone is calcium carbonate, which is easily soluble in carbonated water. That is, carbon dioxide absorbed in rainwater. Stalactites hang as icicles and are of different diameter. They are broad at the base and taper down at ends. Stalagmites. They rise from the floor of the cave and are formed due to dripping water from the surface or the thin pipe of stalactites. It takes the shape of columns, a disc, rounded bulging end, or miniature crater-like depression. Pillars or columns are formed when stalagmites and stalactites are combined. With that, students, we come to the end of part 1 of the video on landforms and their evolution. In part 2, we shall learn about the glaciers, waves, and currents and winds. Have a great day, students. Goodbye from Team Notebook.